All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And his son, Mashiach, who some call Yahweh Shai, Yeshua, Yehoshua, Yahusha, Yasha Yah. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. This is Judah Nazareth. If you're not familiar with this brother, this is an Old Testament only brother who used to be on still is on Sinetta Studios. I forget he used to have a little group, but he's way out in Asia, Japan somewhere. But he used to have a group of followers, and they kind of pride themselves on knowing the language, going into the language, and again, they Old Testament only. And it sounds good until, somebody can go into the language. But they know the language a lot better than most, especially One West Israelites. So they can pump their chest on that. But anyway, he did a video that was kind of funny. That was in reference that he was just crying out for Grla Hebrew, man. Like, come back and lead these little Pookie and Ray Rays before we lose all of them. Even being that he is an Old Testament only Israelite. I'm going to go ahead and let this thing play. And it is too in reference to Priest Hakai. And some of the latest videos he's did, even Salute the Hebrew Elevation. He came into the classroom yesterday, and he even mentioned it. And I talked to one of my brothers. He mentioned, I was like, man, you don't really go to class. But for me, I understand that that's what it's supposed to do. All right, he's trying to captivate people to come to his channel and watch the video. He's doing that with the titles and with the thumbnails. People do this for a living. This ain't just I'm teaching the word, This is I'm teaching the word, but I'm doing this YouTube thing for a living. And it's a way to captivate the audience, get the audience talking, etc. It's business. I seen it and I was like, oh, well, that's business. And I can give you several examples of this that I see like, oh, okay, well, these, ain't no way they still beefing. That's business at this point, And I could be wrong, but that's just how I see it. When I see, and shouts out to Ringo TV and New Breed. But when I see them going back, I'm like, oh no, that's business. Ain't no way. Ain't no way these jokers still beefing this long. But it's business also in there. It's business in the beef. And with this video, it may be a lot of laughing and giggling, but we also have to evaluate ourselves. Because we're controlling the influencers. They're making the videos for us to captivate us. They know what we want. And so they understand that we want the beef, that we want the smoke, that we don't want to sit down and watch no darn PowerPoint class. Like my Wednesday classes are the lowest viewed videos. I know that. I've been knew that. I know what you want. And I could usher the channel to that. But it could end up getting to a point where it's business. And not the Father's business. So, so we got to be careful. Are we doing it for the kingdom? You got to find balance in that. You got to find balance in that. It may be different for each individual, but This is just a lesson we can glean from this situation. Let me go ahead and let this thing play. Listen, man, he a character, man. Joker is a character.
It's not about penning the bars. It's not about sampling the beats or it's not, no. It's about put on the shiny jacket. Take that. Ha. Marketing and promotion. Not skill. Marketing and promotion. That's the problem. There's a difference between sirloin steak and goddamn McDonald's. There's a difference. Who's serving the goddamn fast food to niggas?
Sirloin a little low on the steak side, to be honest with you too, brother. Sirloin is kind of low. You got strip, you got T-bone, you got ribeye, you got Wagyu.
You can't fast food your way into the kingdom. Okay?
Dry aged.
You can't have a goddamn shack pack. You can't shack pack and milkshake your way into the kingdom. No. There will be no goddamn there'll be no Whopper and goddamn French fries and strawberry milkshake, electric boogaloo into the kingdom. No, nigga. No. No. That's one. Grla Hebrew, come back, brother, please. Genesis needs you. They can get mad at me. Listen, they can pull the right, but they can't pull right, nigga. I'm an elder. Right? Our shit is so advanced that the little pookies don't even know what the fuck we talking about. It's like we're speaking goddamn Swahili to these niggas. When your shit is dumbed down to little pookie conversation, here come the little pookie Israelites, little pookie FBAs, the little Hotep pookies. The niggas are all the same. All it takes is the wind to blow, and them niggas are going to go somewhere else in some false doctrine. They're going to follow that bullshit. Trust me. By next year, the niggas will be talking about the FBA and that they're Native Americans and the slavery never happened and they're American patriots playing Hulk Hogan's theme music. I am a real American fighting for rights of every man. That's what the niggas gonna be doing. Not Kwame Yasharala. We know, brother. We're the 21st Pythons, brother. I'm a real American, brother. FBA, brother. You're gonna get motherfucking jetpack raccoon ass niggas, right? Like the motherfucking raccoon ass FBA niggas, right? Grla Hebrew, you need to come back, brother, and take over Genesis, brother, and lead these brothers in the right direction. Get these brothers in the Torah. Hold on, listen, because it gets worse. Hold on.
And I'm gonna tell I'm gonna take the time to, you ain't making it in no kingdom with no Torah only, brother. Just lay that out there for you. You ain't making it in the kingdom without the blood of Christ. But I remember Grla Hebrew saying in a video, maybe a couple days ago, last week, he was saying that I've been watching and y'all need to get in my debate class. Y'all Negroes need to get in my debate school. And does it, if we evaluate it, does it enhance to a level where we can send these people out globally to defend the gospel? Does it get to that level? What we're watching, what y'all listening to on Clubhouse, does it get to that level where these people are defending this on a scholarly level, scholastic level, a collegiate level? Some even being teachers or being professors at prestigious schools. Like, how far away are we from that? Y'all hit the comments. Let me know.
Hakka has a video coming up, and the video is called Jesus is going to have a wife and children in heaven.
See, and the video did what it was supposed to do, because it even got him talking way out there in Japan or, way out there in Asia somewhere. Even he is like, oh my goodness, what in the world is he talking about? That's what he wanted with the title. And again, he don't even believe in Christ.
What, nigga? That's not what the New Testament teaches, nigga. We know what Revelation 24. I've been trying to get y'all Hebrew Israelite niggas to defend that. Y'all don't even speak on it. Now there are Hebrew Israelites who are following.
Did he say Revelations 24?
Hebrew Israelite niggas to defend that. Y'all can't even. What, nigga? That's not what the New Testament teaches, nigga. We know what Revelation 24. I've been trying to get y'all Hebrew Israelite niggas to defend that. Y'all don't even speak on it. Now there are Hebrew Israelites who are following Christian, what do they call it? Preterist. Christian preterists teach you that Revelation 20, right now, the Christian church is Jesus' kingdom. Right? That Jesus, just like the New Testament teaches.
Revelation 20, verse 4.
Marcionite book. That Jesus is ruling in heaven right now as king and as high priest for the sacrifices and the prayers of the body of Christ, the Christians. Deacon Dunn remixed the whole doctrine and said that Jesus is going to have a wife and children.
And something that I'm examining. I could be wrong, but I do feel Priest Hakah is going into some of these Talmudic, some of these other sources, some of these sources of these little hats, and he wants to establish and say that it's us. But before he can even say that it's us that wrote those documents, you're going to need to establish, where were we after 70 AD? Where were we after the Bar Kokhba revolt? And a lot of Israelism haven't established or dealt with the history between 70 AD and what's that, 16 slave ships. When we got on the slave ships to America. Those 1600 years. So that history is just not there. It's not being taught. It does get discussed a little bit in the book of Babylon and Timbuktu, but what's written in there is that the Jews went north to Libya, Algeria, those Egypt, even back to Egypt, and kind of stayed there, and then stayed north and migrated west. But dealing with the Berbers and Morocco, but we don't like that narrative. We don't like that. As so-called Negroes, we don't like that narrative because a lot of those people in a lot of those countries they're not Negroid. They don't have Negroid features. They got pointy noses and thin hair. But I'm just saying that to say a lot of that history is just not taught. And that may be something Priest Hakah may be trying to work and trying to navigate, but when you're dealing with certain sources and it's, this came out in the 5th century, 6th century, and you say, that was the little hats that wrote. Then it's like, who was there and where, you're going to have to try to establish that was us. But he is using these sources and trying to, defend his stance with these things. But again, even when he's doing that, he's picking and choosing. He's picking and choosing what he want to deal with within those sources. And it's going to backfire on him. I'm just giving you warning. It's going to backfire on you.
And have it. Now, wait a minute. I hope he don't mean in heaven. Because, well, you know, that, sir, would be a ultimate false doctrine. That's one. Two, I hope it doesn't mean in the Israelite kingdom that's on earth, because the New Testament doesn't teach that Jesus is going to sit on the throne of David. Only in one book, the book of Luke, if I'm not mistaken, the Luke. Other than
And again, y'all, he don't believe in it, you know. Yeah, just you know, don't even take what he's saying. You know, go do your own research. I'm not agreeing with what he's saying here, but you just got to let it play through.
that Revelation and all that, and Paul's writings don't teach nothing about Jesus ruling as a human king on a human throne, having wives and having children, and then dying, and then his sons ruling out in his stead, and then him dying, and then his sons ruling in his stead, and then him. No, the New Testament don't teach that. It teaches that Jesus is going to rule for 1,000 years, and then he's going to stop ruling, and then Satan's going to take over. Meanwhile, Israelites, we're going back to the land. We have nothing to do with this shit, right? And they know this. Goofy ass niggas going to teach false doctrine anyway, right? But we know your book better than you knew, it seems, right? Deacon knows goddamn well that if for Jesus to sit on David's throne, that means David has to come back. That means David has to die, and then one of his sons has to rule in his stead. And then he dies, and one of his sons rules in his stead. And so forth and so on, all the way from the Zadokite high priest, who will be the first high priest at that time. He will die, and then his son in his stead, and his son in his stead. Don't think that we're not going to die in the kingdom. We are. It says we're going to live very, very long, very, 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 very long times. It says he who dies at 100 years old will be looked at as if he's cursed. Didn't say your ass going to live forever like that, bro.
And, you know, I do agree that I agree with some of the methodology he is using with separating the millennial reign and the kingdom of heaven. I don't equate them to being the same. All right, no flesh will enter into the kingdom of heaven. So anything that's dealing with flesh, anything that's dealing with dying, anything that's dealing with giving birth, I put that in the millennial reign of Christ. But that's how I navigate that. That's how I navigate the two. They're not the same to me. Some people make them the same. I don't make them the same.
Now, you might die and come back again, right? Because we have the book of life, right? That's the Sabbath lesson, Yahweh willing, we get to that. But Hakka's teaching that Jesus, not in the old days, but in the future, is going to have a human wife and children. You gotta be like Judah. What's wrong with that? But Hakka teaches that Jesus is the angel of Yahweh. But he teaches that there's no such thing. This is a one West false doctrine.
And I'm just starting to understand now. I'm listening to it again. Why he even went through what he had to have a child and he had to have a child. For that to happen, basically, he's thinking that Christ has to come back in the flesh. He'll have to come back and be born through the flesh again. And then raised up for him to be able to have kids and to do all, because, you know, the angels can't, you know, the angels not supposed to be having that ability to have sex and you know, is he coming back in flesh? You know what I'm saying? So and the only way to do that, well, you know, he could do anything, but far as we see the text and how those things navigated before, you know, he would have to be born back into this world rather than him just coming, you know, he had to put back on flesh. These are fleshly operations. These are operations of the flesh, giving birth and marrying. The angels aren't given to marriage. So that's where some of the complications that he's seeing is coming from, and he's explaining it, I think. What do y'all think? Y'all hit the comments. All right.
They teach that there are no fallen angels. Any nigga talking there's no fallen angels in the Torah, nigga, you're not a teacher. I'm an elder. Ain't none of you niggas gonna fucking challenge me, nigga, on it, because you niggas don't know the Torah. Shut the fuck up, nigga, and take your ass back to the Catholic Church, nigga, and toss up 3 Hail Marys, nigga. You don't know the Torah. You don't have the Holy Spirit. Nigga, where are the Rephaim, the Emim, Zamzamim, Anakim, and Genesis 10 in the Book of Nations? They're not there, nigga. So who are these people? These giants. Of course, these niggas gonna try to say they're Israelites, but it don't say they're Israelites, nigga. You a false goddamn teacher. Any false ass nigga teaching that, unsubscribe to niggas fake ass channel. The nigga ain't no real teacher. The Holy Spirit's not on the nigga. He don't know the Torah. Okay, the giants are in the Dead Sea Scrolls. They're in the Torah. They're just not in the. Wait, let's get back to the point. Yeah, I know. Hebrew Israelite niggas. I know. Your feelings are hurt because you work for the Pope, nigga, and you don't work for the Most High. You're teaching a false goddamn doctrine, nigga. You don't know the Torah, so you need to get your ass back in the church like Vocab Malone, like the rest of the Hebrew Israelites do. They leave the Hebrew Israelite camps because they become disillusioned with the false doctrine, and then they go to either FBA or they become like JJ666, become a goddamn voodoo priest, a goddamn Aleister Crowley child molester, cult voodoo, goddamn demon possession pedophile priest, or whatever fuck shit FBA little pookie bullshit. They're gonna go to some little pookieville. Most High gonna escort these niggas off the premises, right? I don't know why my shit horn. This EV muck shit crazy. Mic check. This EV muck shit freezing the horn.
4 more minutes, y'all.
Bullshit. You can't come in fucking throwing in the goddamn P. Diddy remix on every goddamn thing to fit your needs to get money and popularity and views. Nigga, stop. Okay, you're a false teacher. All you niggas are false teachers. That's why when you see on HOK whooping ass, showing the authenticity of the scriptures, you don't see no Hebrew Israelites saying, you know what, good job, Judah. They say Allah, but it's El, Calm Yasha El, or wherever they say Allah, whatever, right? No. Them niggas act like them niggas don't even know. Well, that's how the Most High looks at these niggas. He not listening to a fucking thing you niggas are talking about. That's why your shit is dead. Them FBA niggas, these got goddamn 50,000 camps. All these FBA niggas are leading our people astray. It's an FBI psyops. What are these niggas talking about? Goddamn debating Christians on Clubhouse, polygyny, and trying to be goddamn celebrities. That's what all these niggas are doing. You failed the youth, nigga. You failed God. You failed the nation. You failed your family. You failed your camp. You failed your children. You failed, nigga. Nigga failure. I said it. I'll put the link down, nigga. Come on, you show me, nigga. Jesus in the New Testament coming back having kids and a wife, but and him being an angel, nigga. Show me. You can't because you made that shit up. 3, hold on. Alizar, Grla Hebrew, you got to come back, brother, and lead these niggas. These niggas is going down the path of doom, brother. Shout to Orthodox more. Shout to Devion. Now, allegedly, I haven't seen it personally, but I'm going to check it out and do some investigation. Now, Deacon Nakah is professing to be a Karaite Jew, a medieval Jewish sect. Karaite Jewish people don't believe in Jesus, dum-dum. Who's paying you, Hakah and Assad? What's going on here? Y'all niggas is getting rinsed in debates. I'm talking, you niggas are getting curb stomped like American History X for this motherfucker. And now you niggas are all over the place. Didn't I say I've seen it 1,001 times? A certain entity will start, I'll give you an example. There are groups that were in Great Millstone. They left Great Millstone. They try to separate themselves from Great Millstone by creating their own doctrines. These doctrines don't hold up. Little by little, you start to see them fade away. Nigga, anyone know Pearl Jam? Hearts and thoughts, they fade. Fade. These niggas be fading away up in this motherfucker. Okay? Okay? Where these niggas at, B? Where these niggas at? Exactly. These niggas is gone. These niggas eating pork. Niggas probably got boyfriends.
And like I say, a lot of this stuff, the debating and some of the topics, some of the worldly topics having to come in, you know, us having to speak on, you know, pretty much every event that happens, whether it's, you know, even Captain Zaryak and dealing with WAC 100 and being on the 100 side and all of that, bringing that foolishness in. You know, at some point you say, okay, well, it's outreach and I'm trying to get those people over there. But you also introducing your people to the foolishness of the world, the stuff that we're trying to keep out. We're actually bringing in and, you know, acting like we're trying to bring these other people. You know, it's like I said, it's a fine balance to that. You got to be careful of that. I think that's what killed Sinetta's channel, and what burned it out is the debates. Eventually, you run out of stuff. You run out of debaters. You run out of topics to debate. We've heard it all before, and then you start extending yourself to certain topics that you really shouldn't even really be speaking on, like the I want to say the polygamy debate they did yesterday. It wasn't worth you talking to him about that lifestyle. Like, you shouldn't even brought him. And again, I'm not, I don't teach. I teach against polygamy, but a lot of our brothers are in that lifestyle, and you should just, you got to be careful trying to promote that and throw that in the face of the world when they don't agree with that. Why would you put yourself out there like that? And that can be harmful even to your family and in the structure that you do have. Your wives are meditating on that and seeing other things and hearing your debate and hearing some of the points that this brother is making against the poly world. I don't know why you would risk that. I don't know why you would, outside of just trying to get views. Why would you bring that? I wouldn't bring that disturbance, but of course we different. You handle your house how you handle your house, I'm just thinking like that, man, that's, you asking for trouble. You asking for trouble. You asking for one of them sisters sitting there like, man, I ain't seen this joke in 6 months, and then she just get to thinking and to listen. I was like, man, you asking for trouble with that. But again, I'm sure you got everything under control. I pray you do. I pray you got everything under control. But it didn't look good. And from what I've watched, I didn't watch the whole thing. So, but from what I've watched, it didn't look good. And even Judah Nass was saying something similar, that it didn't look good. And somebody came on the class yesterday and was like, nah, this ain't looking good. I think even the topic was just off. It wasn't that was poly biblical or not. It was like, will poly save the world and something like that. It's like, man, like, come on, y'all. Like, come on now. So this, and again, I think this is happening because people getting burned out. I think, you're getting tired of debating certain people, getting tired of debating these same topics, and people ain't showing up to these things. And so, individuals are going out trying to find new audiences And in doing that, again, you're going out into the world and you're getting dirty and you're bringing that filth back. And the audience that you had that are set apart, they also getting that filth on them. They also getting that whack 100 on them. All right. They also getting that Adam 22 on them. They also getting that 85 South on them. Just something to be mindful.
Niggas is twerking their sexy red. But a year ago, the niggas was Kwame Nasrallah. Okay? Now it's goddamn Gucci.
And not saying that, it's not a good thing. I'm just saying there has to be some sort of balance there. Some kind of time frame in between these different things. But it's we just got to be mindful.
Man, greatest hits up in this motherfucker. Okay? Nigga bots. Little pookies. Right? The angels escorted these niggas off the premises. Now, wait a minute, hold on. Let's get back to Hakab being a Karaite Jewish person, though. Right?
And then you have, other people like Truth Unedited, where people, they never even seen his face. You know what I'm saying? And he has, close to 1 million subscribers. And his audience is his audience. But you're not going to see him just going on these different platforms, so he has more of a consistency there. So you can do it without it. But even his videos is a lot of based on a lot of smoke, and how these people are wrong. This is how this is supposed to, etc. That's what we want. And that's what I'm saying. We have to evaluate ourselves because as the audience, that's what we want. That's why we're clicking on the video. At some point we have to evaluate ourselves too, because why are these videos getting them? Why are we watching these videos more than we watching classes? We watch the smoke. We watch, the drama more than we watch. Then we're thirsting for the word and saying, man, what's the class today? What's the topic of the class? What's the, and that's just reality. You got to deal with that. So it's, and we got to evaluate that. Like I said, we got to mark that down and evaluate, ourselves for the day. Like how much of the stupid stuff I watched and what did I learn today? Did I learn anything today about this text, about the Lord? Anyway.
How can you be a Karaite Jew, a Jewish person, Hakab, and then profess that Jesus is the angel Michael, the angel of Yahweh? Where is that in the New Testament, Christian? And where is that in the Torah, which Karaite Jewish people claim to follow? Where is that? And he said that Jesus is in the Torah too. That's another goddamn lie, right? Now I know One West, they like to teach that shit, right? Hebrew Israelites teach that goddamn.
You see, that was enough for me. I was on so much. I could keep letting you say Christ ain't in the Torah and it's only so much I could take. But
why, right? No matter how many.
The brother was crying out for Grla Hebrew. That and basically saying that the Genesis that they may need some leadership, man. Not that Grla Hebrew's the best leader, but that's the last leader that they had. And from his viewpoint, the things kind of getting a little sporadic and getting a little out of order. Things are getting a little disorderly. Y'all hit the comments. Let me know what y'all think. And what do y'all think about evaluating ourselves also about what we're watching? Because we can control the influencers. The audience ultimately controls the influencer and tells him what he should be teaching and what he should be doing, And then again, the element of brothers getting paid to do this. And so they have to listen. Those who are in that spirit, they have to listen. And probably would want to. Probably would want to do more classes and teach you certain things. Especially when he's learning, especially when one's learning new things. Like if he's learning and he's going into the Talmud and he's learning the Kakarat Jews and he want to tell you about it. But he know it's not for everybody. He know it's not going to get the views, it's not going to get the attention, and it may get attacked. And it may get attacked and start beef to give somebody else some views. So that's this atmosphere this community is in socially, on social media anyway. Y'all hit the comments, man, again. Let me know what y'all think about this conversation. And even this video itself is kind of plays into some of the stuff that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But again, balance. We got to find balance in all of it. Pray the same was there to find. Y'all be blessed. Shalom.